So we got Nakamura starting on the bottom side as player number 1. And player number 2, Legend. So we got Kronos and Hades. We'll see if Legend can unrust and rise to the challenge. We have a hero citizen, so he wants that quicker build time. Nakamura a lot more in production, but he has a lot more individual villages, and they are going to take longer to actually build stuff. So keep that in mind. He's got a heroic age already. A classical age still for the Hades player. He's going to look at hitting fast, but there's already a lot of units out here to defend as well. A lot of heroes being created to try and deny this early Cyclops pressure from Nakamura. I think he's going to keep streaming them out. No, he's going to stop at 3. But it gives Nakamura a good scout out at what Legend's going to open with. Legend checking for side building already. It's a good idea because Nakamura does like to add that in early where he can. So a bit of a push up here with Hippicon Hyper. So these guys are going to do well against Oracles, and as long as the the Hippicons aren't taking the Mamilos, particularly when they're hero, it's going to go Naka's way. But in saying that, Legend has a lot of Fortress Fire here. Stun there from the Nemean line, hitting a lot of units. There's a Chara Ballista in the back line too, so that's really going to help stave off this attack from Nakamura, because he is going to be spending a lot to field all this. But it's an unending wave, it seems. He's got quite a nice defensive spot for his own base, so he can look at taking quite a nice market line behind this, I think. Legend's really going to have to try and build up around the settlement before he looks at establishing it, making sure he doesn't under-defend here, because that's a lot of blue health bars right there. And more building going on for Legend. He doesn't want to be underproducing. He needs to have units there ASAP to defend this, and he can't afford to add more buildings in this space, so he's going to have to keep building up around here. Plus it does give him the potential to sort of get it like a side build, sort of push there as well. Pestilence going down, so having these buildings out of the way is also a good idea for that, because the less things that get hit by Pestilence, the better. It's going to interrupt all that trading, and all those units are queued up. Actually, a lot of them don't have units queued up, which is good for Legend, because then he won't have the resources committed. And Nakamura pushing up now with the Screek setup, and the Helepolis starting to come out as well, so they're going to prove to be a big threat to the palaces. But Legend in the meanwhile has cut his own hole through Nakamura's side base here, and he might be able to put pressure on that settlement. And in the meanwhile he has denied this little Gastrophedes push. Naka continuing the devastation, taking out all the palaces there. And he's adding Gastrophedes. But in the meanwhile, Legend has managed to deny this settlement over here of Nakamura's, so it might be a bit harder to establish a nice market line for him. He's going to have to try and secure down here, adding in the markets now instead, rather than being able to add them here or something. So, Legend's units just got pigged. Another palace is going to fall of Legends as well, but he still has units creeping through the back here, and he wants to look at aggressively building and trying to deny that settlement there from Nakamura, forcing him to having to short a gold trade here as well. And saying that, is Nakamura going to be able to push Legend off this center settlement. He may be able to, he's got so many Gastrophedes there. Legend in the meanwhile is putting the pressure on and starting town centre of Nakamura's. Not going to be able to get it, but in the meanwhile he is going to be able to finish off a palace over here. So that does go down. Don't know if he's going to get that mirror tower though. He is deconstructing the fortress in Naka's base. Naka, in the meanwhile, is continuing to threaten these palaces. He's got so many Gastros and a Petropolis, so that's not going to last very long. So this late game Greek siege potential, really hard to deal with. The mirror tower actually does go down, and a third one's going to be constructed here, so Legend might be able to pinch that town centre. He's denied the market line so far, but Automaton's still down there to deny this other market of Nakamura's. So a bunch of Arcus being upgraded to champ, being upgraded to hero, so these houses now under threat. Towers finished off and the settlement started there for Legend, and he mostly managed to deny the market. He got the villagers, but there is Perseus who's cleaned up the automaton finally, so Nakamura will be able to finish off one of those markets, and he has earthquaked one of Legend's settlements there. Meanwhile, Legend trying to eagerly take that settlement of Nakamura's, so we're going to have a bit of a interesting base layout here. Legend with like a proxy TC, if you will. But he's not in too bad of a shape. I don't think he really needs to try and save this army if he can. He wants to try and fight underneath the towers, but at the same time he doesn't want to get too close, because then the Gastrophedes and the Petropolis can obviously start chipping away at them. But he needs to be careful that the Nemean Rex doesn't stun too much of his army. Now Legend is having to defend this proxy TC spot. Don't know if he's going to get it now, because there's a lot there to deal with this. He is going to get the Helepolis. So Legend holds on over here, but is it enough? Because there is still a Gastro poking over on this side of his base, so he's not going to be able to get that settlement easily. Nakamura's not making it easy for Legend to get on another settlement. So Nakamura's used all of his god powers except for the Sentinels. Legend's got access to a lot of his powers still. This citizen is going to fall. And Momelo is going to try and cut a hole through the base. Oh, I can sneak in through here. Nakamura still check the resources. Legend really economically starved at the moment, while Nakamura, there's exactly 3 villager population disparity there, 15 villager pop versus 45. Legend gonna have to add more to his economy, try and catch up a bit here, because got to deal with a lot of Helepolis, countered by these Hippodons. Gigantus really going to be able to put in the work there. Once again, the settlement attempt from Legend denied by Nakamura. And over here, Legend has not started on that one either, and some Gastrophedes are coming across just to make sure that that doesn't start. Once again, Legend taking a nice fight here, with the Gigantus really interrupting the Hippocons. There is still 4 Helepolis to deal with, and they can still take down some more production. the moment. Legend doesn't have a lot of wood in the bank. Nakamura's out of food though, so he's also gonna find it hard to remake hippicons, villages. This little force here of Nakamura's is on the run, but over here he's still threatening Legend. And there's not really a lot of units here to defend, only a couple of fire siphons really, so Legend's gonna have to split off units to come back and defend this. Nakamura's gonna be able to go for those gold mine villages as well. More production going down for Legend, but Legend starting on that settlement once again. Got some units over in the corner there. This one Mamilo. He's free! He's out! Until he gets in range of something that'll hit him. The fortress. Yeah. So Legend this time. That's the upper hand with the units in the center here, but he is going to have to deal with being pushed off the settlement yet again. The settlement over on the right here is still eager for. All the units. Vortex. Yeah, Vortex into Nakamura's base, so now Nakamura's going to have to either defend or push as hard as he can. This Legend will be able to destroy a lot here. That's a great couple of stuns there from the Nemean Rexes. Lions, repeat. Giganta is going to be able to bring down the town center there. In response, Nakamura is going to try to take down Legend's town center. And Nakamura is only on this one town center here. He's going to try and establish his one over here, but Legend cut off yet again. So Legend down to 0 town centers. Things are looking really dicey for him because Nakamura is not far off getting back onto 2. And saying that, Legend taking advantage of the fact that he's still got a lot of god powers in the bank. He's deconstructing another fortress. He's finally managed to turn the tide of this fight, I believe. Again, Legend tries to get on the town center. He just needs a town center, let alone 2 or 3. But, oh, units to back this up here. For Nakamura, this is not good for Legend at all. He's going to try and start. He's building 3 settlements, but he's on none. Nakamura's on 2. A lot of buildings of Legends are going to come under fire now. So if he loses the market, that'll be an expensive thing to replace. They're 300 wood apiece, I believe. Yeah. Still units controlling Naka's base from Legend, so let's look at mounting a fight here. The hero unit's unaffected by that stun, but all the non-hero units are. Nakamura having reset Legend's settlement time once again. And over here once again, the Helepolis. So Nakamura doing a wonderful job at denying settlements from Legend, repeatedly doing it as soon as they get started. Really, really rough for Legend. Still units in Nakamura's base though. So Legend holding on. Wonder if there's a market on the way for him yet. Well, a market line. He's got a market. So Nakamura is pretty much broke here. No food. Find it very hard to produce anything other than Gastrophetes or Helepolis, but at the same time, great use of them so far from him. Picking off infantry and so many structures with them. This fortified town center does have enough to defend it. It's a lot of repairers. Now Nakamura's out of food, so he's Gonna have to gather some food from somewhere. There you go. Trading some gold to some food. Keep on repairing that one. So Nakamura going all the way up to 55 villagers, throwing that perfect ratio of 3 villager difference out the window. He's running for the more economic approach now. And Legend is not maxed out, so this is going to be good for Nakamura. I think Legend is running out of steam, but in saying that, Legend is still going to threaten the base of Nakamura here. Market line really only a safe one up to that TC, I believe. Yeah. Let's go to the 28. Better than nothing at the end of the day. And they've only got to travel a short distance. Like, the lower the number is, the shorter the distance too. Keep that in mind. Even though it is on paper a worse market line, it may be still just enough to keep you going. And having a shorter market line is obviously going to be a bit easier to defend from split harass, multi-pronged harass. It's really only things like having area powers to worry about. But great timing here on the vortex here. This is going to interrupt the settlement attempt, but does Legend have the units to get this done? He's down by about 35 population. He is going to deny that first settlement and take out a bunch of houses. Nakamura's going to have to replace those houses. Quick stat, because he isn't going to be able to build anything on any more units otherwise, but this also means that Nakamura does have a window of opportunity up the middle here, and he's going to pinch a relic, 40% villager hit points off the Legend there, so that's going to be a bit crucial for him, because it means it's going to be innately harder to raid and get value. It's the loom tech from the other Age of Empires games as a relic. And that Gastra. Man, Legend must be pissed. It's been such an effort to try and get to more than 2 town centers this game. He's going to deny this one from... He's going to destroy this one from Nakamura, I think. If he can get that... Oh, poor thing. I don't think he's going to be able to do it now. The units are all falling. Nakamura is going to be able to get on that 3rd town center again. So he's got all these middle ones. Sort of cut Legend off from this one over here. That corner fortress is going to fall, and Legend taps out. GG. Well played, guys.